In Naruto Reborn with a chat group chapter 81 to 100. As Makoto walked toward the barbecue restaurant with Naruto and the others, he scrolled through the messages in the chat. Some of the messages particularly caught his interest. There were even details he hadn't known, despite having read the original storyline. For example, the original never mentioned him sharing so many childhood experiences with Hashirama. Just imagining it made him chuckle. Naruto and the others quickly noticed his laughter and became curious. Hey, why are you laughing? Did you think of something funny? Tell us so we can all laugh together. Naruto asked eagerly. Although Sasuke remained silent, he listened intently, clearly interested. Sakura also glanced at Makoto, curious about what made him laugh. With his hands resting behind his head, Makoto grinned and replied, I just thought of something funny. Your teacher, Kakashi, is said to have been a student of the 4th Hokage. That's something most people in the village know, right? Sasuke and Sakura nodded their heads while Naruto looked puzzled. He had never expected Kakashi, who didn't seem particularly strong to him, had actually been a student of the 4th Hokage. This made him question just how powerful the 4th Hokage truly was. Kakashi being the 4th Hokage's student wasn't exactly a secret in the village, but for Naruto, this was the first time he had heard about it. Sakura was still confused, furrowed her brows and asked, but what does that have to do with your laughter just now? Makoto smirked and replied slowly, of course, it has everything to do with it. As you all know, the 3rd Hokage had 3 students, the legendary Sanins. One of them was Jiraiya. The 4th Hokage was Jiraiya's student, and Kakashi was the 4th Hokage's student. Now, you guys are Kakashi's students, which means, I am technically your senior. Shouldn't you start calling me Grandmaster now? The trio blinked in confusion. How does that even work? For a moment, they struggled to wrap their heads around the strange hierarchy. But as they thought it through, they realized that the chain of teacher-student relationships did make some sense. The 3rd Hokage had trained Jiraiya, Jiraiya had trained the 4th Hokage, the 4th Hokage had trained Kakashi, and now Kakashi was their teacher. By that logic, Makoto was in the same generation as Jiraiya, making him, in a way, their senior. Sakura and Sasuke was left speechless by his words. That's a load of crap. You just want to mess with us, don't you? Naruto exclaimed, scowling in annoyance. Makoto shook his head with an innocent look on his face. No, how could I be messing with you? I'm just stating the truth. Come on, my dear students, call me Grandmaster now. Just then, messages from the group chat started flooding in. Senju Tobarama. If that's the case, kid, you also have to call me Grandmaster. Makoto Ito. No, but maybe I should start calling you grandfather-in-law instead. Uchiha Madara. How shameless. Namikaze Minato. Somehow, I now have a kid as my master. Senju Tobarama. Minato, don't forget that makes me your great-grandmaster. Namikaze Minato. Senju Hashirama. Ha ha ha, no matter what, I still have the highest seniority. A few minutes later, Makoto and the others finally arrived at the barbecue restaurant. Once inside, Sasuke, who had no shortage of money, ordered a variety of dishes. The smell of sizzling meat filled the air as they eagerly dug into their meal, laughter and chatter filling the table. Meanwhile, on the other side of Konoha, deep within the root base, Danzo sat in his chair, his lone eye coldly scanning the kneeling root ninjas before him. You are to bring Makoto here tonight. Do not let anyone else know. Do you understand? Yes, Lord Danzo. The root ninjas responded in unison before swiftly vanishing into the shadows. Danzo remained seated, his fingers drumming against the armrest as he narrowed his eyes. Hiruzen, everything I do is for the village. You're too old to be Hokage. It's time for me to take over. I will restore Konoha to the glory it once had. After a while, he and the others finished their meal, and Sasuke, without hesitation, paid the bill. With full stomachs, the 4 of them left the restaurant together. As they strolled through the streets, Naruto patted his stomach with a contented grin. Man, I'm so full. This is the best meal I've ever had. Thanks, Sasuke, he said cheerfully. Sasuke frowned slightly at Naruto's words. The best meal he ever had. Had Naruto never eaten like this before? Sasuke had also lost his family, but he had at least grown up with the Uchiha clan's wealth. But Naruto, he had never had any of that. At this moment, Sasuke felt a sense of familiarity and sympathy towards Naruto. After hearing Naruto's words, Sasuke fell into silence, while Makoto wondered if this was the protagonist's treatment at play. Both Sasuke and Naruto had lost their parents, and as a transmigrator, Makoto shared the same fate. However, Sakura was different. She had both of her parents, yet she never seemed to truly appreciate them. At times like this, Makoto couldn't help but think that things might have been better if his parents were still alive. Completely oblivious to the subtle atmosphere, Sakura continued pestering Sasuke, only further irritating him. "Shut up, you're annoying," Sasuke snapped, his sharp words catching Sakura off guard. Sensing the awkward tension in the air, Naruto scratched his head and let out a nervous laugh. "Well, I just want to say, thank you all. I haven't been this happy in a long time." Seeing Naruto's bright and cheerful expression, Kushina felt her heart ache and spoke up. Uzumaki Kushina. "Naruto, my baby, it's all Mom's fault." "That's right, Makoto, didn't you say you could resurrect us? But the prerequisite is inheriting all of my strength, right? I'll give you everything now. Can you bring me back? I want to take care of Naruto properly." Namikaze Minato. "Kushina, calm down, just seeing Naruto like this is already enough. Besides, didn't Makoto already promise that he could resurrect us all? Even Lord first mentioned that it might not be a good thing for Makoto to grow too strong too soon. There's no need to rush things." Uzumaki Kushina. "But seeing Naruto like this breaks my heart. He's already this old, yet this is his first time eating barbecue at a restaurant." Namikaze Minato. "I know, I feel the same way. But look at him, he's happy now, isn't he? He has good friends, Makoto and Sasuke, and their bond is growing stronger." Makoto Ito. "Honestly, unless it's Hashirama or Madara, I don't want to resurrect anyone too soon." Uzumaki Kushina. "Why, Makoto Ito? Because there's someone in the group I need to consult about this first. That person is Shisui." Uzumaki Kushina. "Shisui." Namikaze Minato. "What does this have to do with Shisui?" Senju Hashirama. "Yes, why? Uchiha Madara." "Shisui, explain yourself." Uchiha Shisui. "It's probably because of my eyes, right? My Mangekyo Sharingan had a technique called Distinguished Heavenly Gods. This ability allows me to subtly and silently alter a person's will. That's likely why Makoto is hesitant to resurrect anyone except our ancestor and Lord First. Those two possess such overwhelming spiritual strength that even distinguished heavenly gods might not work on them. But for others, I can't say the same. Before I died, Danzo took one of my eyes. His right eye is probably mine." Senju Hashirama. "There's an eye technique that powerful." Uchiha Madara. "Impressive. A truly formidable ability." Namikaze Minato. "Silently altering someone's will, that really is terrifying." Senju Tobarama. "Wait a damn minute. What if Danzo tries to use Distinguished Heavenly God's technique to control Makoto?" Senju Hashirama. "Oh shit. Uchiha Madara. That would be troublesome. How do we handle this? Let me think." Uchiha Izuna. "If that's the case, then Makoto is done for, right?" Uchiha Shisui. "No, ancestor. If someone's mental power is strong enough, they can resist the effects of this eye technique." Senju Hashirama. "I see, that makes sense." Senju Tobarama. "So that's how it works." Moderator Senju Hashirama has granted spiritual power to group leader Makoto Ito. Group member Senju Tobarama has granted spiritual power to group leader Makoto Ito. Group member Namikaze Minato has granted spiritual power to group leader Makoto Ito. Group member Uzumaki Kushina has granted spiritual power to group leader Makoto Ito. Uchiha Madara. "In that case, let me join in too." Group member Uchiha Madara has granted spiritual power to group leader Makoto Ito. Group member Uchiha Izuna has granted spiritual power to group leader Makoto Ito. Group member Hyuga Hazashi has granted spiritual power to group leader Makoto Ito. Opening square bracket ... comma closing square bracket. One after another, the group members continued gifting their spiritual power to Makoto. Makoto was completely stunned. He had never expected that a simple message would lead to such a scene. But when he thought about it, it made sense. If he were to fall under Danzo's control, the chances of these legendary figures being resurrected would disappear entirely. Just as Shisui had explained, anyone with sufficiently strong mental power could resist the effects of distinguished heavenly gods. Now, with these powerhouses willingly transferring their spiritual energy to him, his defenses against such techniques would be on an entirely different level. Makoto clicked to receive the spiritual power, starting with Hashirama and Madara. The mental fortitude of these two was unparalleled, and the moment their power fused with his own, he could feel a significant transformation. Just imagining the kind of genjutsu he could now unleash sent a thrill through him. With such an immense boost in spiritual power, even a cage-level expert might struggle to withstand his genjutsu. More importantly, he had always been wary of Danzo's distinguished heavenly god's technique. But now, he had absolutely nothing to fear. Even if Danzo attempted to use the technique on him, it would be completely ineffective. Realizing this, Makoto let out a low, sinister laugh. Walking nearby, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all shivered. They had no idea what Makoto was thinking, but his menacing laughter sent chills down their spines. Naruto shuddered from the side and said, "Makoto, can you stop laughing like that? What on earth are you thinking? Why are you laughing so creepily?" Just then, a warning came from the group chat. Uchiha Madara. Kid, someone's coming. Based on their chakra signatures, it's 2 Chunin and 1 Jonin. They're probably after you. Senju Hashirama. I can sense it too. 3 chakra sources are heading your way, and they're moving fast. Uzumaki Mito. They're coming straight for you, and they are full of malice. Seeing the messages from the group members, Makoto immediately stopped laughing and calmly scanned his surroundings. Naruto didn't notice anything off about Makoto's behavior. Sakura also remained oblivious and continued walking ahead. But Sasuke sensed that something was wrong. A subtle tension filled the air, and his instincts told him to be on guard. He grew more vigilant, and when their eyes met, Makoto gave him a slight nod. In the next instant, 3 masked figures suddenly appeared before them. Their attire resembled that of the Anbu but carried a distinct difference in style. One of them stepped forward, brandishing a weapon. "Makoto, come with us. Danzo-sama has summoned you." Senju Tobirama. Danzo again. What does he want this time? Why does he always make a move whenever a genius emerges in the village? Shouldn't a genius be a blessing, not a target? Namikaze Minato. Makoto, be careful. They aren't Anbu, they're from Root. It operates directly under Danzo. Stay on your guard. Uchiha Madara. What are you waiting for, Makoto? Take them out before they try to use hostages against you. Senju Tobirama. With Makoto's strength, taking them down is easy, but Danzo might use that against him and frame him as a traitor. Uchiha Madara. So what if he does? Who cares about being labeled a traitor? As long as you have strength, it doesn't matter. Senju Hashirama. Madara, stop spouting nonsense. Uchiha Madara. HMPH. Hashirama, you're still as indecisive as ever. Can't you see the true nature of the world? Your outdated ideals won't change anything. Senju Hashirama. Madara, I understand. But Makoto absolutely cannot become a traitor to the village. Uchiha Madara. Tisk, so you still cling to this village, after everything. Senju Hashirama. You don't get it, Madara. I didn't build Konoha alone. The two of us built it together. This village carries both our childhood dreams. I won't let anyone destroy it, no matter who they are. Uchiha Madara. Then why did you kill me in the first place? Senju Hashirama. I never wanted to kill you. I just wanted to bring you back. Uchiha Madara. Oh yeah, and how were you trying to bring me back with that giant wooden Buddha statue? Senju Hashirama. Well, maybe you shouldn't have teamed up with the 9 Tails, then. Uchiha Madara. Just as their argument was heating up, a sharp voice cut through their bickering. Ito Makoto. Hey, you two. I'm literally surrounded right now. Can we focus on that instead? If you really want to fight, do it later. Uchiha Madara. Tisk, I'm not going to fight him. I'm not in the mood to get beaten. Ito Makoto. Oh, so you don't want to reveal your trump card? Uchiha Madara. What trump card? I don't have a trump card. Where did you even get that idea? I have no idea what you're talking about. Senju Hashirama. Madara, you had a trump card. You weren't even fighting me at full power. Uzumaki Mito. Hashirama, do you even realize how weird that sounds coming from you? Madara was completely dumbfounded. Did Makoto know everything about him? He could already tell that Makoto was referring to the Rinnegan. But how? How did this kid seem to know everything? Before, Madara had only suspected that Makoto might have some knowledge of his plans. But now, he was sure. Makoto was completely aware of his secrets, down to the fact that he had awakened the Rinnegan. Senju Hashirama. Madara, Why aren't you saying anything? You're acting really suspicious right now. Senju Hashirama. Madara, answer me. Senju Hashirama. Madara. No matter how much Hashirama pressed him, Madara stayed silent. Senju Hashirama. Madara, if you don't talk, I'm coming to your house. Considering that everyone was currently residing at the duel grounds, it wouldn't take long for Hashirama to storm over. Uchiha Madara. HMPH. Fine, I'll admit it, I have a little trump card. But can we focus on the current situation now? Let's see how Makoto handles this first. Senju Hashirama. Alright, but next time we fight, you better go all out, Madara. Uchiha Madara. Yeah, I got it. You're so goddamn annoying. Senju Tobirama. Madara. Brother, that's disgusting. Uchiha Izuna. Madara. Namikaze Minato. Madara. Hyuga Hazashi. Madara. Yuhi Shinku. Madara. Uchiha Fugaku. Madara. Opening square bracket comma closing square bracket. Seeing everyone's messages, Hashirama couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed, while Madara looked completely helpless, wondering what was even going on. Uzumaki Mito. There's really no point in me staying in this house anymore. Hashirama, you and Madara should just live together from now on and stop coming to me. My blessings to both of you. Senju Hashirama. Mito, please, don't say such ridiculous things. Uzumaki Mito. There's no need to explain. I understand everything. I sincerely wish you both happiness. After all, ours was just a political marriage, wasn't it? I've always known that you two are the ones who truly love each other. Sigh, I still remember what you said to me when we got married. You swore that you would never regret loving me, that power, wealth, and everything else didn't matter. It seems they were all lies. Makoto Ito. Grandma Mito, please calm down. Senju Tobirama. Sigh, my sister-in-law is really going through a tough time. Just think about it, how would you feel if you had to watch your own husband flirt with another man every single day? Makoto Ito. Well, that does sound difficult, but I think that's not the real issue here. Danzo just invited me. Senju Tobirama. Haven't you already gained spiritual powers? Didn't Shisui say that as long as your spiritual strength is strong enough, Koto Amatsukami won't work on you? What are you still afraid of? Makoto Ito. Uzumaki Kushina. Grandma Mito, I really feel sorry for you. Thankfully, Minato is normal. Might die. Yo, Tsukumo, this is the essence of youth. Hitaki Tsukumo. Shut up, you idiot. Namikaze Minato. Now that I think about it, Dai and Tsukumo seem to have been quite close in the past. Makoto Ito. Their sons also share a very close relationship. Come to think of it, Kakashi looks decent, but he's never had a partner. Hitaki Tsukumo. Hold on, why are you suddenly talking about my son? Might die. So Guy is still friends with Kakashi. Ah, this is the power of youth. Hitaki Tsukumo. Shut up, you idiot. Makoto Ito. Well, having good friends is one thing, but I think Kakashi has kidney deficiency. Hitaki Tsukumo. Kidney deficiency. Uchiha Madara. No wonder he always looks so drained. So he's actually suffering from kidney deficiency. Makoto Ito. Seriously, is it really worth it to read those kinds of books every day? Namikaze Minato. So that's the reason. I thought he was just really into those books. Uchiha Madara. Now that you mention it, his chakra reserves aren't that impressive either. I saw him struggling just to activate the Sharingan. Senju Hashirama. Madara, I really want to experience what exhaustion feels like. How about taking out your eyes and giving them to me? I've never known what it's like to burn through chakra that fast. Uchiha Madara. Get lost, you idiot. Don't you dare flex your chakra reserves in front of me. Namikaze Minato. Lord First's chakra reserve is truly enviable. Hyuga Hazashi. 1+. Yuhi Shinku. +1. _ Back in the real world, the three root ninjas watched as Makoto suddenly appeared dazed for just a brief moment. Hey, kid, did you hear us? Master Danzo has ordered you to come with us. Hearing their words, even the usually carefree Naruto sensed that something was wrong. These three were clearly enemies. Sasuke reacted instantly and shifted into a defensive stance. Makoto calmly shook his head. If he wants to invite me, tell him to come in person. Senju Tobirama. Kid, he did come in person. But you rejected him. Makoto Ito. Cough. Can you shut up for a moment? Naruto immediately jumped in front of Makoto, his voice loud and firm. Hey, didn't you hear? Makoto said he's not going. Get lost, or I'll tell Grandpa Hokage. In an instant, one of the root ninjas appeared in front of Naruto and sent him flying with a powerful kick. Get out of here, demon fox brat. This has nothing to do with you. Fire style. Great fireball technique. Seeing Naruto getting attacked, Sasuke wasted no time. He immediately used the great fireball technique, trying to catch the enemy off guard. But the root ninja dodged with ease, then retaliated with a swift kick, sending Sasuke crashing to the ground. TCH, as expected of an Uchiha. He already learned such a technique at his age. Uzumaki Kushina, Naruto, Uchiha Makoto, Sasuke, Senju Tobirama. That bastard Danzo. What the hell is he trying to do? Attacking children in broad daylight. Is this how Root operates? Uzumaki Kushina, Makoto, kill them for me. They must die. How dare they lay a hand on my Naruto? Uchiha Makoto, yes, kill them. Seeing their sons being kicked away, the two mothers couldn't hold back their anger. Meanwhile, Naruto and Sasuke struggled to get back on their feet. Sasuke, are you okay? Naruto asked, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth. I'm fine. Worry about yourself, Sasuke replied, brushing the dust off his clothes. Without hesitation, the two rushed forward again. Multiple shadow clone technique. In an instant, the entire street was flooded with hundreds of Naruto. At the same time, Sasuke activated his Sharingan, his eyes gleaming with a bright light. Let me show you the true prowess of an Uchiha. Senju Hashirama. Not bad. Naruto seems to have gotten quite proficient with that technique. Uchiha Madara. HMPH, they seem promising enough. Despite Naruto summoning shadow clones and Sasuke activating his Sharingan, the difference in strength between the two sides was still overwhelming. Even Sasuke's fire-style techniques failed to land a single hit on the root ninjas. Moving with exceptional speed, the three root operatives quickly dealt Naruto's clones and struck both Naruto and Sasuke down once again. Watching from the sidelines, Sakura stood frozen in shock. She couldn't understand why ninjas from the same village would attack her friends. Even if they know some techniques, they're nothing more than academy graduates. This kid calls himself the last survivor of the Uchiha clan, yet he can barely use his Sharingan properly. Demon fox brat, just looking at you makes me sick. After being knocked down once more, Naruto and Sasuke struggled to get back on their feet. Gritting his teeth, Naruto shouted toward Makoto. Makoto, run. Go to Grandpa Hokage, now. You can't go with them. One of the root ninjas suddenly appeared beside Naruto using the body flicker technique and delivered a brutal kick to his stomach. Demon fox, you better shut up. Naruto was sent flying, rolling across the ground several times before coming to a painful stop. Witnessing this, Sasuke's face twisted in anger. Damn it, Naruto, are you okay? Uchiha Madara, what a bunch of idiots. Is this what the world has become? Bullying those weaker than you. Pathetic. Senju Tobirama. Makoto, what are you waiting for? Kill them. If things escalate further, you might as well become a traitor. Once you resurrect us, I'll clean up the mess for you. Senju Hashirama. Take action, kid. Even Hashirama, who was usually soft-hearted, couldn't stand by any longer. Watching a Jonin attack freshly graduated children was beyond unacceptable. Makoto Ito. I understand. Makoto had no intention of letting those who hurt his friends go free, and he certainly wasn't going to hold back. A sinister smile crept across his face as he spoke. Now, it's time for you to experience something you'd never wish for. Without hesitation, he swiftly formed a hand seal, one that no one had ever seen before. It was a genjutsu entirely of his own creation. Having recently gained a massive surge in mental power, Makoto's genjutsu was simply too overwhelming for the three root ninjas to resist. In an instant, they collapsed to the ground, writhing in pain as they began vomiting uncontrollably. Makoto casually walked over and helped Sasuke and Naruto up. Both of them had dumbfounded expressions. They had no idea what kind of genjutsu Makoto had just unleashed, but the results spoke for themselves. The three elite ninjas lay on the ground, completely incapacitated, violently throwing up. Makoto, what technique did you just use? Naruto asked with a curious look on his face. Sasuke glanced at Makoto with interest. The technique was undeniably powerful. In mere seconds, all three of their enemies had been rendered motionless, unable to fight back. This illusion was far more terrifying than the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. Makoto smirked. It's a technique I developed myself. It's called Infinite Shituyomi. As the name suggests, it forces them to eat shit inside the illusionary space. They can't resist it, and every kind of shit floods their bodies, rushing straight into their mouths. Naruto and Sasuke had horrified look on their faces and a shudder ran down their spines. Wasn't this genjutsu way too disgusting? Forcing people to eat shit? Even if it was just an illusion and not real, it was still outrageous. Watching the three root ninjas still writhing on the ground, vomiting and twisting in agony, both Naruto and Sasuke instinctively took a step back from Makoto. Makoto, remember, we're good friends. So promise me you'll never use that technique on me. Naruto blurted out, his face full of fear. Though Sasuke remained silent, he nodded vigorously in agreement. No one wanted to experience such a disgusting illusion. Uchiha Madara. Brat, why the hell did you come up with such a disgusting technique? Madara reprimanded Makoto, but at the same time, he couldn't hide his surprise. The name of the genjutsu was eerily similar to his own grand plan, Project Tsukuyomi. He had a feeling Makoto was messing with him. That scheming brat, he's probably dropping these hints on purpose, trying to bait me into handing over my bloodline and everything else. As the thought crossed his mind, Madara's expression changed, turning thoughtful and somewhat conflicted. Senju Hashirama. This is definitely over the line. Now, I feel sorry for those guys. Senju Tobarama. Damn it, I invented so many forbidden techniques, but even I feel like this one should be sealed away. Namikaze Minato. How exactly did you come up with this technique? Yuhi Shinku. I thought my illusionary techniques were special, but I never expected anyone to take things this far. Hyuga Hazashi. It's pretty disgusting, but you can't deny the fact that it took them down instantly. Ito Makoto. Forget about the whole shit-eating part. Just tell me, do you think the technique itself is effective? One Jonin and two Chunin were taken down in an instant. What do you all think? Senju Hashirama. Impressive. Uchiha Madara. Of all the people I've encountered over the years, no one surpasses you in sheer filth. I, Madara, acknowledge you as the strongest of them all. Senju Tobarama. So, what are you going to do next? They're completely powerless now. Are you going to kill them, or? Makoto Ito. What do you mean or? I'm not soft-hearted. Of course, I'll kill them. Uchiha Madara. Now that's the right attitude. Being kind-hearted and merciful is something only fools do. Senju Hashirama. Madara, are you insulting me? Uchiha Madara. Damn it. Since when did you get so good at catching my indirect insults? Senju Hashirama. Stop calling me a fool. I am no longer the person I used to be. I have realized my mistake. I also support eliminating them. After all, anyone who dares to attack their fellow villagers, especially children, deserves to die. I wouldn't hesitate to crush them with my own hands. Uchiha Madara. Holy shit, is it really you, Hashirama? I never thought I'd hear you say something like that. Senju Tobarama. Neither did I. Is this really my elder brother? Back in the real world, Makoto pulled out a kunai and stepped toward the three root ninjas still writhing on the ground, vomiting uncontrollably. Naruto observed his actions, wondering what he was about to do. Makoto, what are you planning to do? Sasuke didn't hold back and asked directly. Kill them, of course, Makoto replied without looking back, his words shocking the three young ninjas. But Makoto, they're still ninjas from our village, right? And they have no power to resist now. I think we should report this to Grandpa Hokage instead, Naruto said, his expression filled with hesitation. Makoto didn't stop or turn around as he replied to Naruto. Naruto, if it were you, would you ever forgive those who attacked your friends? Is that really your ninja way? What if they had actually succeeded in taking me away? Would you still say the same thing? Naruto was momentarily stunned by his words. On the other hand, Makoto had no intention of wasting more time arguing with Naruto. He knew that if the conversation dragged on, things could take an unexpected turn. After all, the most powerful genjutsu in the world wasn't the distinguished heavenly god, it was Naruto's infamous talk no jutsu. If he continued talking, he might just end up letting the three root ninjas go. Makoto appeared directly in front of the three root ninjas. Without hesitation, he swung his kunai, swiftly slashing across each of their necks. Blood sprayed from their wounds as the ninjas collapsed lifelessly onto the ground. Makoto felt his chest tighten as this was his first time killing someone, and despite his resolve, he couldn't stop the wave of emotions that followed. Uchiha Madara. Brat, I didn't expect you to be all talk and no action. But now that you've actually done it, this is how you react. You killed a few pieces of trash, and you're already shaken. Senju Tobirama. Your psychological resilience is lacking. You are still too soft. Senju Hashirama. Shut up, both of you. He's still a child. This is a normal reaction. This isn't our era, where we had to go to war as kids. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama, what the hell happened to you? Senju Tobirama. Exactly. Since when do you become a serious person, brother? Senju Hashirama. Just listen. Kids today are different from those in our time. Back then, we saw death every single day and we were forced to accept it. But these kids haven't gone through the same hell we did. Tell me, isn't it natural for Makoto to react this way? Uchiha Madara. HMPH. Well, he could have just used a fireball technique and ended it cleanly. Ito Makoto. Madara, I'm not trying to avoid anything. If I wanted to, I could have burned them to ashes in an instant. But what if I find myself in a war or a dangerous mission in the future? If I hesitate when it matters most, I might not survive. Uchiha Madara. Alright, kid. I see you've thought this through. I was just a little surprised by your reaction, that's all. With that, the three root ninjas were no more. Their bodies lay motionless on the ground, blood pooling beneath them. On the other side, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura stood in silence, their expressions conflicted as they watched Makoto. After a moment, Makoto turned to Sasuke and spoke calmly. Sasuke, burn the bodies with a fireball technique. Having witnessed the massacre of his own clan, Sasuke had long since been gotten accustomed to death. Unlike Naruto and Sakura, he wasn't shaken by what had just happened. Without hesitation, he formed a hand seal and released a great fireball technique, engulfing the corpses in roaring flames. The bodies were quickly reduced to ashes, leaving only the smoldering remains behind. The incident had shaken all four of them, so they each headed home in silence, lost in their own thoughts. Back at his house, Makoto took some time to calm his mind before focusing on other things. Feeling bored, he was about to check the group chat to see what everyone was saying. Makoto suddenly felt a sharp pain in his eyes. What was happening? Was he going blind? Makoto clutched his eyes, but the pain didn't stop. His Sharingan began to change uncontrollably. His three-tomo Sharingan rapidly spun, growing more red with each passing second. Senju Hashirama. What's going on? Is something wrong with his Sharingan? Uchiha Izuna. Holy shit. How is this possible? Uchiha Shisui. He is awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Fugaku. But how is this possible? Does killing someone made him awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan? I had to witness the death of close friend to awaken it, damn it. Uchiha Madara. It's probably an evolution triggered by the spiritual energy he inherited from us. Killing those three root ninjas must have been the trigger. Although it's a bit unusual, it's not that surprising since Makoto already has wood style, the Senju bloodline, and a bunch of other abilities. It could just be a mutation that sped up his evolution. Senju Hashirama. Incredible. So his eyes are about to evolve into the Mangekyo Sharingan. Are they the same as yours, Madara? Uchiha Madara. Ha, mine isn't just the Mangekyo, it's the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Senju Hashirama. Is there a difference between the two? Uchiha Madara. Simply put, the eternal Mangekyo doesn't lead to blindness. But a regular Mangekyo Sharingan will eventually cause its user to go blind if used too frequently. Senju Hashirama. Huh, so does that mean Makoto will lose his sight in the future? Uchiha Madara. Normally, as long as one doesn't overuse their eyes, they should be fine. But this kid's case is different. His awakening is highly unusual, and on top of that, he possesses wood style, the Senju bloodline, and sage arts. His recovery abilities should be quite strong. Still, it would be best for him to awaken the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan as soon as possible. Senju Hashirama. Oh, so my wood style and sage arts are that incredible. Madara, in that case, why don't you lend me your Sharingan? I want to try my ultimate technique with that cool blue armor thingy. Closing square bracket. Uchiha Madara. Do you think the Sharingan is a toy? Besides, if you really want them, just wait until you're resurrected and take two from Danzo's body. And, it's not blue armor thingy. It has a name, it's called Susanoo. Senju Hashirama. Alright, I'll just take 2 from Danzo in the future then. That blue armor really does look amazing. Uchiha Madara. I'll say it again. It is not just blue armor. It's Susanoo. Su-sa no o. Are you even listening? Closing square bracket. Senju Hashirama. Yeah. Blue Susanoo armor. Uchiha Madara. Senju Tobarama. By the way, each Mangekyo Sharingan grants different abilities, doesn't it? Uchiha Madara. I can't say for certain. While the same abilities can appear, most of them tend to be unique. I have no idea what abilities Makoto will awaken. Uchiha Shisui. I'm curious too. Uchiha Madara. The abilities usually manifest as a reflection of the wielder's inner self. Uchiha Shisui. Oh, now that you mention it, ancestor, I wanted to change my clansmen's minds and foster friendship with the village. That must be why I awakened heavenly distinguished gods. Uchiha Madara. What a waste of such a powerful ability. Uchiha Shisui. Namikaze Minato. If the Mangekyo Sharingan manifests based on one's inner self, do any of you have any guesses as to what ability Makoto will awaken? Hyuga Hazashi. I have no idea. Ito Makoto. Grandpas, is it supposed to hurt this much? This pain is unbearable. It feels like I'm about to grow another pair of eyes. Closing square bracket. Uchiha Madara. Brat, this is the most critical moment for your Mangekyo to awaken. Stop whining and focus. Your ability will reflect what you desire most, so think deeply, what is it that you truly want? Ito Makoto. Honestly, I'd love to have Shisui's heavenly distinguished gods. That ability would be incredible. Besides, I don't really want anything else. I have a group of generous grandpas, uncles and aunties, so there's nothing I lack. I genuinely can't think of anything else I desire. Closing square bracket. Uchiha Madara. Oh, now that's interesting. I'm curious to see what kind of ability you'll awaken. As they spoke, everyone watched as the 3 tomo in Makoto's eyes spun rapidly. Gradually, they merged into a distinct pattern, a 6-pointed star. At that moment, Makoto had awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan. Shaking his head, Makoto looked around with a dazed expression. His vision was slightly blurred due to the strain of the awakening process. Uchiha Madara. Kid, tell me quickly, what ability did you awaken? Uchiha Izuna. Yes, hurry up and tell us. Senju Hashirama. +1. Senju Tobarama. +1. Namikaze Minato. 1+. Ito Makoto. Heavenly distinguished gods. Hyuga Hazashi. Holy shit. Senju Hashirama. Congratulations, Makoto. That's an excellent ability. Namikaze Minato. Incredible. Uchiha Shisui. But why did you awaken my ability? Were you thinking about altering someone's will just now? Makoto glanced at Shisui's message and smiled. In truth, during his awakening, he had thought of 2 Mangekyo abilities. One was heavenly distinguished gods. The other was Obito's Kamui. To his surprise, he had actually awakened heavenly distinguished gods along with another ability similar to Kamui. Now, he needed to come up with an answer to Shisui's question. If he admitted that he had been thinking about heavenly distinguished gods, they would inevitably ask about his second ability. And he had no intention of revealing any information about Obito just yet. So, he made up an excuse. Ito Makoto. Well, I was just thinking that if I had heavenly distinguished gods, I could use it to lure all the beautiful kunoichi from other villages to ours. Uchiha Madara. Brat, this is not a game. You're going to regret this later. Senju Tobarama. Were you seriously thinking about picking up girls at a time like this? Senju Hashirama. What about your other eye? Shouldn't it have a second ability? Ito Makoto. No, the ability in my other eye is something completely new, it's called nothingness. Uchiha Madara. Nothingness. What exactly does it do? Ito Makoto. With nothingness, I can imprison someone in a different dimension where they are completely powerless. In that dimension, they can't use chakra, can't perform ninjutsu, and can't even utilize ninja tools. In other words, once they're trapped, they are entirely at my mercy. Uchiha Madara. Damn, with this ability, your opponents won't even have the power to fight back. After responding, Madara wore a strange expression, as nothingness bore a striking resemblance to Obito's Kamui. Does he also know about Obito? Or is this merely a coincidence? Senju Hashirama. This is an incredibly powerful ability as well. Uchiha Fugaku. But, why do I feel like his abilities are a bit strange? Senju Hashirama. Strange, what do you mean? Uchiha Fugaku, think about it. He just said he wanted to pick up girls, and that's how he awakened heavenly distinguished gods. Now, his second ability allows him to put others completely at his mercy. In other words, if a female ninja falls under his control, he can imprison her in that dimension and do whatever he wants. Senju Hashirama. Holy shit. Senju Tobarama. Now that you mention it, these two abilities are strangely compatible. Uchiha Izuna. Isn't this a bit too ridiculous? Hyuga Hazashi. As crazy as it sounds, I kind of see where Fugaku is coming from. Namikaze Minato. Witnessing the awakening of a Mangekyo Sharingan firsthand is truly fascinating. I just wonder how Makoto will actually use these two abilities. Uchiha Fugaku. Isn't it obvious? Besides picking up girls, what else would he do? Ito Makoto. Fugaku. At this moment, Makoto deeply regretted making that excuse. Ito Makoto. What the hell are you all talking about? These are undeniably powerful abilities, but why do they sound so perverted when you guys describe them? And Fugaku, are you feeling salty after watching me awaken the Mangekyo so effortlessly? Uchiha Fugaku. What are you talking about? You were the one talking about using your powers to pick up girls. And I am, definitely not jealous or salty. Makoto Ito. I was just joking, damn it. And what's wrong with awakening distinguished heavenly gods? Shisui also awakened distinguished heavenly gods, but you didn't question him about it. So why are you making such a big deal about me? And isn't my nothingness ability amazing? For example, I can use distinguished heavenly gods to lure cage-level ninjas from other villages and use my nothingness to eliminate them. My abilities are all for the benefit of the village. Everything I do is for Konoha. Uchiha Shisui. Why do your words sound oddly familiar? Makoto Ito. Because that's exactly what Danzo said right before he gouged out your eyes. Uchiha Shisui. Before Fugaku could respond to Makoto, a sudden message from Mito popped up, leaving everyone speechless. Uzumaki Mito. Makoto, can you use distinguished heavenly gods on Hashirama and make him break up with Madara? Makoto Ito. Uchiha Fugaku. Senju Hashirama. Mito. Uchiha Madara. Mito, have you lost your mind? What do you mean by break up? There's nothing between us. Hashirama and I are just like brothers. Makoto, forgot about them and tell me more about your abilities. Since your awakening was unusual, I'd expect your Mangekyo Sharingan to be different from the norm. Makoto Ito. That's right. Thanks to all the good stuff you guys gave me, I don't have to worry about going blind at all. On top of that, my distinguished heavenly gods has a really short cooldown. As for nothingness, there's no cooldown whatsoever. I can use it continuously without any issues. Uchiha Madara. Shisui, what's the cooldown time for your distinguished heavenly gods? Uchiha Shisui. 10 years. Senju Hashirama. 10 years. That's ridiculously long. Senju Tobarama. But it makes sense. After all, the technique can completely alter someone's will without them even realizing it. Uchiha Madara. And what about you, Makoto? How long is your cooldown? Makoto Ito. I'm not entirely sure, but it definitely won't exceed a year. Namikaze Minato. That's incredible. Hyuga Hazashi. Damn, with that ability, you could bring a cage-level ninja under your control every year. Give it a decade or two, Makoto would have an army of cage-level ninjas and no other village would be able to stand against Konoha. Makoto Ito. Uncle Hazashi, that's not possible. Hyuga Hazashi. What do you mean? Why wouldn't it be? Makoto Ito. Do you really think there are that many cage-level ninjas in the world? Hyuga Hazashi. Now that you mention it, there really aren't, but wouldn't that make your ability kind of wasted? Makoto Ito. Not at all. So what if there aren't many cage-level ninjas? There are plenty of beauties in the world. Hyuga Hazashi. Damn it. Didn't you just say you were joking? Makoto Ito. Ha ha ha, I'm just messing with you, Uncle Hazashi. Hyuga Hazashi. Brat, stop calling me uncle. I'm not your uncle. Makoto Ito. Alright, uncle, I get it, uncle. Hyuga Hazashi. Makoto was overjoyed after awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan. Both of his abilities were incredibly powerful. One was distinguished heavenly gods, the most formidable illusion technique in existence, and the other was nothingness, an ability akin to Kamui. But the best part, he thought excitedly, starting today, I can finally control a Gundam, no, Susanoo. On top of that, he didn't have to worry about eye strain or blindness. In other words, His Mangekyo Sharingan was practically on par with the eternal Mangekyo. Feeling satisfied, Makoto decided to call it a night and went to bed, while the rest of the chat group continued discussing. Meanwhile, at the duel grounds, Madara sat alone in his home, gazing silently at the moon. He was deep in thought, debating whether to continue with his grand plan or abandon it and focus on training Makoto instead. A part of him felt conflicted. He had spent years laying the groundwork, all for the sake of achieving true peace. But now, things had changed. His brother was alive, his best friend was here, and for the first time in a long while, he felt the urge to set everything aside and just be with them. As he pondered his project Tsukuyomi and the strange nature of this chat group, his mind became a tangled mess. Suddenly, the door swung open with a loud bang. Madara, let's go for a walk. Hashirama grinned as he stepped inside. Mito just went to sleep. Madara let out a wry smile at his friend's carefree nature. Damn it, there's really no stopping you, huh? Fine, let's go. And so, the two of them set off into the night. In the distance, two people were watching the backs of Madara and Hashirama. These two people were none than Tobirama and Izuna. I never thought I'd see the day when I'd be sitting here drinking with you, Izuna sighed, swirling the wine in his glass. Hearing this, Tobirama rolled his eyes and scoffed. Neither did I, you damn Uchiha. They exchanged glances before smirking and raising their glasses, the soft clink echoing in the air. Speaking of which, our brothers are really something else, Izuna remarked, shaking his head with an exasperated expression. Tobirama let out a snort. If one of them had been a woman, they'd probably be married by now. He shook his head in disdain. Ha ha ha, I think so too. Izuna burst into laughter, slapping his thigh as if picturing the absurd scene. After finishing his drink, Tobirama placed his glass back on the table and looked at Izuna with a serious expression. Izuna, aside from my elder brother, no one understands Madara better than you. His tone grew sharper as he leaned slightly forward. Don't think you can fool me. I can tell Madara is hiding something from us. I've been studying the Uchiha clan since childhood, especially you and your brother. Based on my observations, Madara is definitely keeping something from us. As his younger brother, you must have noticed it too, right? Izuna let out another sigh as he set the glass down gently. I never expected you to notice it as well. I thought only Hashirama and I had picked up on it. He exhaled deeply before continuing. I sensed something was off with my brother as early as when we first started living in the dual ground. Sometimes, my brother had this distant, dazed expression, other times, he looked conflicted. But he never spoke a word about it, so I have no idea what's really going on. Izuna ended with a wry smile. But based on what I can tell, it must be related to resurrection, Izuna speculated. My brother must have set up some kind of contingency plan in the world. After all, there's only one thing he has ever truly wanted, and he's not the type to give up so easily. He dreams of unifying the world and bringing about true peace, and that was the promise he made with Hashirama. Tobirama had an annoyed expression. TCH, I was hoping you'd tell me something new. I already suspected as much. Then why did you even ask me? Izuna shot back, clearly irritated. Haha, that's right, my mistake for expecting you to actually know something, Tobirama said with a mocking laugh. You damn Senju bastard, Izuna snapped. Shut up, you evil Uchiha. Tobirama barked back. The two bickered for a moment before breaking into amused smiles, raising their glasses once again. Tobirama then leaned back with a thoughtful expression. So, what do you think we should do? Should we leave this matter to my brother, or should we step in? As much as he despised Madara, he had to admit that Hashirama was the only one truly capable of handling him. Izuna rolled his eyes. Aren't you the so-called Senju genius? The one who invents techniques just because he's bored? And now you're asking me for advice. If Makoto had been present to hear their conversation, he would have been ecstatic. After all, they were discussing the closely guarded secret of Madara, Project Tsukuyomi. And with just the subtle hints he had given them, they had already pieced it together. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hashirama and Madara stood in silence before a small river. Without a word, Hashirama bent down, picked up a stone, and tossed it into the water, watching as it floated. But the moment the stone touched the surface, the smile on Hashirama's face faded. Madara, he called out without looking back, have you made your decision? Madara was taken aback by Hashirama's words. What's with him all of a sudden? Did he already figure out my plans? Is he reading my mind? No, how is this even possible? Forcing himself to calm down, he hid his shock with a puzzled expression. What are you talking about? Hashirama slowly turned to face him, the two standing side by the river, just like they had in their childhood. Madara, how long do you plan to keep hiding it? Hashirama asked in a calm tone. I know you weren't really dead all those years. Madara's eyes widened in shock. How do you know? I had my suspicions even when I was alive. But after Makoto mentioned you were holding back during our final battle, I was certain that you were never dead. Hashirama continued, his tone growing heavier. Not only did you survive, but you also orchestrated an entire series of plans, didn't you? The one who attacked the village, the masked man the fourth Hokage spoke of, that was your doing, wasn't it? What's your true goal, Madara? The Nine Tails. He took a brief pause before stepping closer. So, have you made your decision? Or will you continue clinging to your ideals? Caught off guard, Madara narrowed his eyes. He locked gazes with Hashirama. After a long period of silence, he sneered. TCH. So, what now? If I insist on my plan, are you going to stop me again? Are you going to kill me here? To his surprise, Hashirama shook his head, his expression dead serious. No, I've come to realize my mistakes, Madara. If you still wish to follow through with your plan, this time, I'll gladly help you. Madara's entire body tensed upon hearing his words. His fists clenched involuntarily, and his voice trembled slightly. Hashirama, say that again. Hashirama repeated himself. If you truly want to see your plan through, I'll help you this time. For a moment, there was only silence. Then, the sound of Madara's laughter echoed across the river. Ha 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 ha. Hashirama, I never imagined the day would come when you'd actually stand by my side. As his laughter faded, a hint of regret flickered in his eyes. What a pity, if you had said this back when we were alive, the world might have already achieved true peace by now. Hashirama smiled and slowly lowered himself onto the ground, gazing up at the sky. Madara, it's not too late, is it? Update schedule. 7 chapters per week. By voting with Power Stones, you can easily get double the number of chapters. Support me at patreon.com/SparkyXD and read up to 50 advanced chapters. After hearing Hashirama's words, Madara instantly became lively, his eyes gleaming with nostalgia as he began recounting the past. Hashirama, your guess was absolutely right. I didn't die back then, and I left behind a series of plans. If not for this chat group, I would have been resurrected in the future and completed the Project Tsukuyomi, finally bringing true peace to the world. And after that, I would have revived you so you could witness with your own eyes that our dream had finally been realized. But now, with the appearance of this chat group, I've come to realize that the Project Tsukuyomi isn't as important as I once thought. Every day, I get to see you and my brother again. Hashirama, do you know? This is only the second time in my life that I've felt such inner peace. The first time was when we built the village together. More importantly, my strength has improved tremendously. Do you still remember our battle at the Valley of the End? During that fight, I actually bit off a piece of your flesh. Madara suddenly paused before gripping his shirt and tearing it off, revealing a tattoo of Hashirama's face on his chest. Upon seeing this, Hashirama raised a shaky hand and pointed at the tattoo, his voice filled with disbelief. Madara, have you lost your mind? You actually have my face tattooed on your chest. Madara's lips twitched in frustration. His expression darkened as he replied, can't you take this seriously for once? Is it really that hard for you to focus? Stop coming up with those ridiculous thoughts and just listen to what I'm saying. Oh, alright, go on. Hashirama quickly straightened his posture, nodding as if he were a diligent student. Madara took a deep breath before asking, where was I? You just said you had my face tattooed on your chest. Hashirama replied, pointing directly at his chest. Madara's eyebrow twitched violently as he shouted back, that's not a tattoo, you fucking idiot. Those are your cells. After implanting your cells, my eternal Mangekyo Sharingan evolved into something entirely new. His voice dropped to a more serious tone as he continued, it's called the Rinnegan, the same legendary eyes as the Sage of Six Paths. Hearing this, Hashirama's eyes immediately sparkled with excitement. Madara, let me see it, show me those ring eyes. Madara's temple throbbed in anger. It's called the Rinnegan, not ring eyes, you absolute moron. I know. Just let me see it already. Hashirama urged impatiently. Madara sighed deeply, rubbing his forehead before finally giving in. With a slight shift, his eyes changed from the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to a pair of Rinnegan. Hashirama examined them closely, his brows furrowing. So these are the ring eyes. They don't look as badass as your eternal Mangekyo. Madara picked up a stone using Shinra Tensei and crushed it into dust to control his anger. For the last time, it's Rinnegan, not ring eyes. Hashirama quickly nodded, mimicking a chicken pecking at rice. Yeah, Rinnegan, not ring eyes. I got it. So, what's next? What exactly is this Project Tsuki no Mi of yours? Exhaling heavily, Madara picked up a pebble and casually tossed it into the water. In short, these eyes gave me a way to return from the dead. I left my Rinnegan behind in the world of living. After I get resurrected, my plan is to gather all the tailed beasts and become the Jinchuriki of the legendary 10 Tails. Then, I would cast an illusion over the entire world, placing everyone in an eternal dream. As Madara finished explaining, Hashirama nodded slowly, his expression blank and unreadable. So, that's your plan. Madara narrowed his eyes. Do you understand it now? Of course, Hashirama replied with a straight face. Isn't it just about working together with you? You fucking idiot. The two sat in silence for a long while, neither speaking first. But, as expected, Hashirama couldn't stay still for long. So, Madara, are you really going through with your plan? Madara crossed his arms and leaned back, responding in his usual roundabout manner. When you came to get me just now, didn't the fact that I followed you here already say enough? Hearing those words, Hashirama's eyes lit up with excitement. Madara, are you really giving up on your plan? Since you've decided to train Makoto, I'll join you. Just like when we built Konoha together. Besides, the most important thing right now is this chat group. I still can't figure out what kind of existence it truly is. The moment those words left his mouth, Hashirama practically leapt onto Madara's back. Madara, I knew you were the best. This time, we'll definitely bring true peace to the world. Get off me, you idiot. Stay away from me. Nope, not happening. Not unless you show me your ring eyes again. It's fucking Rinnegan. You literally just called them Rinnegan a moment ago. Why are you back to calling them ring eyes? Are you messing with me on purpose? And just like that, the two of them started bickering by the river, just like they had in their childhood. Meanwhile, back at Hashirama's home, Mito sat quietly on the bed. With her Kagura's inner eye, nothing that happened at the duel grounds could escape her eyes. A small smile appeared on her lips as she murmured, Hashirama, I hope this time, you and Madara can truly realize your dream. The arrival of the chat group, along with Makoto's unexpected presence, had completely disrupted the original course of events, setting the story in an unforeseen direction. Back in the real world, Makoto was sleeping soundly, completely oblivious to these changes. Welcome to Fanfic Audiobook, your go-to place for immersive audiobooks. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. The next morning, Makoto woke up, freshened up, and got ready to head to the Hokage's office as Sarutobi had told him the day before that his training would start today and had called him over. At this moment, Makoto had no idea what had happened at the dueling grounds while he was fast asleep. If he knew, he would have been completely shocked. Madara had actually given up on his Project Tsuki no Mi and was now planning to work alongside Hashirama to train him. After he revived everyone using the chat group's function, their goal was to unite the entire world and achieve true peace. If Makoto found out about this, he'd be full of questions, as this was completely different from how things originally played out. Not only that, but this change would completely alter some of the most iconic moments in the future. Madara's legendary entrance in front of the Shinobi Alliance, his peak battles, and the thrill he felt when facing Edo Hashirama, none of that would happen the same way. Even the famous scene where Hashirama told him to wait, and Madara actually sat there and waited calmly, would be different. Senju Tobarama. Kid, you're up surprisingly early today. Ito Makoto. Well, it's my first day as Sarutobi's student. I'm curious to see what he's going to teach me. Senju Tobarama. Even though I can't stand Sarutobi right now, I have to admit, when it comes to learning ninja techniques, he's a genius. Uchiha Madara. HMPH, what's the point of knowing so many techniques? Can he even block a single punch from me? Senju Hashirama. Forget a punch, just a slap would be enough. Senju Tobarama. Oh, shut up, both of you. Why is flexing the first thing you do in the morning? Makoto, him.Ph. If you two are really as strong as you claim, why not share some of your tricks with me? I want to learn your techniques too. Uchiha Madara. You little brat, you never miss a chance to ask for something from us. Group member Uchiha Madara has granted his combat experience to group leader Makoto. Namikaze Minato. What? Hyuga Hazashi. Holy shit. Yuhi Shinku. What the fuck? Might die. What in the name of youth? Not just the group members, but even Makoto was dumbfounded. What the hell is going on with Madara today? Why is he dropping a bombshell like this first thing in the morning? I didn't even do anything. Madara had just handed over all of his combat experience without asking for anything in return. Makoto. Wait, hold on. Is the sun rising in the west today? Weren't you the one who swore you'd never give me anything? Did you hit your head or something? Uchiha Madara. Brat, I just gave you something people would kill for, and you're asking so many questions. If you don't want it, just reject it. Makoto. No way. Even an idiot wouldn't turn this down. But seriously, what's gotten into you? Why the sudden generosity? Uchiha Madara. him.Ph. I'm in a good mood today. That's all. Senju Hashirama. Madara, why are you taking so long to say it? We're going to train Makoto together, and once he reaches cage level, he'll resurrect us. Then, we'll unite the world and bring true peace. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama, shut up. Senju Hashirama. Don't be a tsunere, Madara. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama. Senju Hashirama. Madara. Once again, the two started bickering like children. But this time, Hashirama's words left everyone stunned, including Makoto. Makoto. Wait, are you guys messing with me? Is this for real? Namikaze Minato. What the hell happened while I was sleeping? Hyuga Hazashi. Damn it. What happened while I was having a wet dream? Hitaki Sakumo. Excuse me. Did you just say that out loud? Uchiha Fugaku. If this is true, the Leaf Village will be unstoppable. Lord First and our ancestor training Makoto, this is insane. Might die. This is the power of youth. On this glorious day, I've decided to do 5,000 push-ups. And if I can't finish them, I'll run 100,000 meters. Uchiha Madara. Why are you all acting like this? Aren't you supposed to be famous ninjas of your era? Show some dignity. Namikaze Minato. Master, you can't blame us. We all grew up hearing the legends about you and Lord First. And after seeing your strength in that duel, we realized we're not even close to your level. Uchiha Fugaku. Ancestor. If this news spreads, I'm afraid the other villages will start making moves immediately. Senju Tobarama. Move. Can they move faster than my Flying Thunder God? Namikaze Minato. Exactly. First, I'll use Flying Thunder God, then Rasengan, then Flying Thunder God second step, followed by Spiraling Flash Super Round Dance Hell Style 3. And after that, all. Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, shut up. Can you stop listing your moves? Don't you know any techniques besides Rasengan and Flying Thunder God? Namikaze Minato. Actually, I do know Sage Arts. Senju Hashirama. Oh, Sage Arts. Fourth, which sacred land did you learn it from? Namikaze Minato. Mount Myoboku. Senju Hashirama. Ah, Mount Myoboku. I learned mine from the Shiko forest. While everyone was busy discussing Hashirama and Madara training Makoto, he still had a look of disbelief on his face. Did I just hear that right? Madara, the same Madara who refused to give me anything and even stopped others from helping me, had suddenly changed his mind and was now planning to train me. What the hell happened while I was asleep? Makoto felt like he was dreaming for a moment. Who was the strongest person in their chat group? Was it Hashirama? No, it was undoubtedly Madara, especially after he unlocked the Rinnegan. If Madara went all out, even Hashirama wouldn't be able to defeat him. The shock from Hashirama's words completely made him forget about the combat experience Madara had sent him. But once Makoto calmed down, he quickly clicked on it, wondering if this was just some weird dream. However, the moment he received Madara's combat experience, he knew this was real. Suddenly, it felt as if he had spent years fighting on the battlefield. Looking back at the practical combat tests at the academy, they now seemed like nothing more than child's play. Uchiha Madara. Kid, what are you thinking about? Why are you drooling? Makoto. Next time I fight, should I use this line against my opponent? Do you want to dance? Uchiha Madara. That line sounds perfect. I'll use it next time, it really fits my style. Makoto. Of course it does. After all, you are the dance king of the shinobi world. After managing to calm himself, Makoto made his way toward the Hokage's office. He tried to keep his emotions in check, but the situation was still too surreal to fully process. From this moment on, the future of the world would be completely different. Some smaller details might remain the same, but major events would definitely take a new course. Makoto had a strong feeling that the allied shinobi forces would still form in the future, but it would be for an entirely different reason. The other 4 nations would probably unite to fight against the Leaf Village. With that in mind, Makoto made a decision. He needed to bring back Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya. Tsunade was already on the list. Now, he just had to add the other 2. Namikaze Minato. Honestly, our group is ridiculously strong, don't you think? Forget about Lord First and Master Madara. Just look at how many people here can use Susanoo. Uchiha Madara. HMPH, is that supposed to be impressive? Uchiha Izuna. Well, I can use Susanoo. Uchiha Shisui. Me too. Uchiha Fugaku. Don't forget me. Namikaze Minato. Fugaku, what do you mean? Have you awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan too? Uchiha Madara. What, you awakened the Mangekyo? Why didn't you say anything before? Uchiha Fugaku. Ancestor, the clan's downfall happened under my leadership. I don't exactly feel proud bragging about it, but yes, I did awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Makoto. Fugaku, my dear, don't blame yourself too much. Uchiha Madara. Sigh, it wasn't entirely your fault, Fugaku. That monkey bastard and one-eyed pirate were the ones who destroyed the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Fugaku. Thank you for understanding. Uchiha Izuna. So, what's your Mangekyo ability? Uchiha Fugaku. I have the power to briefly predict the future. Uchiha Izuna. That's actually an amazing ability. That means our group now has 4 Susanoos. If we add Makoto in the future, that makes 5. Namikaze Minato. But the scariest combination would be Susanoo and Sage Art would release, true several thousand hands. Lord First and Master Madara could team up, but Makoto might be able to pull it off solo in the future. Uchiha Izuna. Sigh, if only that idiot Tobirama knew wood style, then we'd be able to pull off that combination too. Senju Tobirama. You're the idiot. We'll just use the Susanoo and Flying Thunder God / combo instead. Uchiha Izuna. Wait, that actually sounds pretty cool. Senju Tobirama. Of course. I used it to kill you, after all. Uchiha Izuna. Tobirama. Senju Tobirama. Izuna. Uchiha Fugaku. Minato, we should team up in the future. Let's use the same combination as Lord Second and Ancestor Izuna. Namikaze Minato. Fugaku, actually, we can do something even more exciting. Uchiha Fugaku. Minato, what do you mean by that? I'm not into men. Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, what did you just say? You want to do something exciting with Fugaku? Namikaze Minato. Sigh, why are you all like this? I meant something battle related. I have half of the 9 tails inside me. With that, I can enter 9 tails chakra mode. That means we can combine the 9 tails transformation with Susanoo. Uchiha Fugaku. Oh, so that's what you meant. I was getting worried for a second. Uchiha Makoto. Fugaku, there is definitely something wrong with you. Why did you have to twist his words like that? Uchiha Fugaku. Namikaze Minato. Seriously, what were you even thinking? Has this chat group corrupted you? You used to be so serious. Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, stay away from Fugaku from now on. No wonder you two were always hanging out when you were alive. Talking about the Uchiha clan integrating into Konoha. What a load of crap. Now I finally see what you two were really up to. Namikaze Minato. Kushina, listen to my excuse. No, wait, I mean, just hear me out. There's seriously nothing going on between us. Uzumaki Kushina. Makoto, I really didn't expect these two to be. Uchiha Makoto. Sigh, Uzumaki Kushina. Damn it, I feel like crying right now. Uzumaki Mito. Kushina, it's okay to cry. You'll get used to it after a while. When Makoto saw this scene, he couldn't hold back his laughter. He never expected yet another unexpected pairing to pop up. One weird couple after another kept appearing. Hashirama and Madara, Tobirama and Izuna, Tsukumo and Might Die, and now, Minato and Fugaku. Uchiha Madara, Minato, that combination technique you mentioned. I already used it against Hashirama back in the day. I called it Majestic Attire Susanoo. Namikaze Minato. Amazing. I never thought someone else would come up with the same idea. But honestly, the name could use some work. How about Supreme Heavenly Mecha God Slaying Eternal Nine Tails Infinite Spiral Radiance Divine Judgment Hyper Evolution, the Ultimate Unstoppable Tailed Beast Annihilation Strike. Senju Hashirama. Nah, that's way too stiff and long. How about Super Hyper Ultra Tailed Beast Susanoo Overdrive Armor, Invincible God of Ninja Supreme Styles? It sounds smoother. Namikaze Minato. Then how about this? Explosive Super Cosmic Mecha, Invincible Nine Tails Infinite Spiral Thunder Roar Heavenly Divine Martial Cannon Supreme Evolved Omega Tailed Beast Ultimate Ultra God Descent. Now that has a nice ring to it. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, both of you. Instead of inventing new techniques, you're wasting time coming up with useless names. Senju Tobarama. My big brother and Minato really have a similar naming sense. Closing square bracket. Hyuga Hazashi. 1+. Uchiha Izuna. 1+. Hitaki Tsukumo. 1+. Uzumaki Kushina. 100,000+. Uzumaki Mito. 10 million+. Seeing these responses, Makoto was having a hard time controlling his laughter. Why did these two always come up with such ridiculous names? What was going on in their heads? Uchiha Shisui. I just realized, most of you seem to have partners, but I don't have one. Uchiha Makoto. Shisui, no. That's actually a good thing. Don't tell me you also want. Uchiha Shisui. Makoto Ito. Such a shame Itachi isn't here. You and he would definitely make a great pair. Uchiha Makoto. My son. Uchiha Fugaku. Shisui, what is he talking about? I thought you and Itachi were just friends. Uchiha Shisui. Uncle, aunt, don't listen to his nonsense. Ito Makoto. Why are you panicking? I didn't say anything weird. I just meant that if Itachi were here, you two would make a great duo since you trained together. Why are you so nervous? Feeling guilty about something? Uchiha Shisui. No, Itachi is like my younger brother. Sensei, I'm here. Makoto flung open the door and stepped into the Hokage's office. Hiruzen quickly put away his crystal ball and turned around. Ah, Makoto, you came quite early. Senju Tobarama. That damn monkey, what was he just hiding? Senju Hashirama. It looked like a shiny ball. Uchiha Madara. Tisk, it's just a little crystal ball. Why are you guys making such a fuss over it? Ito Makoto. This is that peeping technique I mentioned earlier. It's called the telescope technique. Senju Hashirama. Oh, so that's what it is. He was peeping just now. No wonder he put it away in a hurry when Makoto walked in. Closing square bracket. Senju Tobarama. That perverted bastard. Isn't he supposed to be Hokage? How can he turn the Hokage's office into a spying den? Makoto ignored Tobarama's rant and focused on Sarutobi, who was adjusting his robe and taking a slow drag from his pipe. Teacher, what technique are you going to teach me today? Makoto asked curiously. In response, Sarutobi took out a thin slip of paper and explained, this is called a chakra paper. It's used to determine which chakra attributes you naturally possess. As you know, chakra is a supernatural energy created by the fusion of physical and spiritual energy. It continuously circulates through the body and serves as the most fundamental force in a ninja's training. There are 5 primary chakra natures: fire, wind, lightning, earth, and water. Each of these elements interacts in a cycle of natural strengths and weaknesses. Fire is strong against wind but weak against water. Wind is strong against lightning but weak against fire. Lightning is strong against earth but weak against wind. Earth is strong against water but weak against lightning. Water is strong against fire but weak against earth. Sarutobi carefully explained each detail to Makoto, ensuring that he fully understood the significance of chakra attributes. As a teacher, he took great care in passing down this knowledge, making sure his student grasped the fundamentals. Sarutobi explained as he held the chakra paper in his hand, as I mentioned earlier, this is used to detect the chakra attributes of an individual. He glanced at Makoto, checking his reaction before continuing. If one possesses an affinity for the fire attribute, the chakra test paper will ignite and burn to ash, Hiruzen stated, briefly rubbing the thin paper between his fingers. For those with the wind attribute, the paper will split cleanly in half. If the individual has an affinity for lightning attribute, the paper will wrinkle upon contact. With the earth attribute, the test paper will transform into dirt and crumble away. As for the water attribute, the paper will absorb moisture and become damp. If you have an affinity all 5 attributes, here is an added with an amusing smile, you will see a mix. One part of the paper will catch fire, another part will split, one will wrinkle, one will become wet, and the last part will break apart. Now, let's check your chakra attributes first, Hiruzen said, handing the paper to Makoto. That way, you can learn which type of ninjutsu you should focus on. Even if you don't have the chakra for one attribute initially, Hiruzen reassured him, with a gentle smile, you can still learn them slowly. As for me, you should know that I hold another title, the Professor. This is because I have mastered all 5 basic nature transformations and possess knowledge of countless techniques. In other words, I can teach you any ninjutsu you wish to learn. With a knowing smile, Sarutobi asked, how about it? Are you excited, happy? Makoto didn't feel anything special at that moment. He wasn't sure what his original chakra attributes were, but the group members had already shared all 5 basic nature transformations with him. That meant he now possessed all 5 chakra attributes. More importantly, he had gained wood style, sage arts, and the Sharingan, which meant he had all 5 elements along with yin and yang release. Sarutobi, who had hoped to impress Makoto with his vast knowledge, was left speechless when he saw no reaction from him. Uchiha Madara. So what if he mastered all 5 chakra attributes? Can he even take a single punch from me? Senju Hashirama. Can the so-called professor block an attack from true several thousand hands? Uchiha Madara. Damn it. Why do you always have to one-up me whenever I try to show off? Senju Hashirama. Oh, so you get to show off, but I can't. What kind of logic is that, Madara? Uchiha Madara. Senju Hashirama. Ha 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 ha. Uchiha Madara. Damn it. Do you dare to duel with me? Senju Hashirama. Why not, Madara? I'd love to see how strong your ring eyes are. Uchiha Madara. It's called Rinnegan, not ring eyes, you idiot. Say it wrong one more time, and I'll crush you with my Shinra Tensei. Makoto Ito. Oh, Madara, are you finally admitting you have the Rinnegan? Uchiha Madara. You little brat, how do you know all this? Where are you getting your information? Makoto Ito. Now that you've revealed your Rinnegan, does that mean you've given up on Project Tsukuyomi? Uchiha Madara. What, how do you know about that too? Makoto Ito. That's a secret. But I know all your dirty little secrets, Madara. I even know where your Rinnegan is right now. And guess what? You were tricked. Uchiha Madara. What do you mean? Tricked? Who tricked me? Makoto Ito. Haha, I know you're freaking out, but hold on. Let me test my chakra attributes first, and then I'll tell you. Uchiha Madara. You brat. What's the point of testing them when you already have all the attributes? Just tell me already. Uchiha Madara. Come on, kid. Explain yourself. What do you mean I was deceived? Madara kept shouting, but Makoto ignored him, leaving the legendary Uchiha confused and restless. Had he really been deceived? Who had tricked him? Could it have been Black Zetsu? But that didn't add up. Black Zetsu had always claimed to be the manifestation of his will. But if it was Black Zetsu, what was its goal? Why would it deceive him? Madara found himself questioning everything. He didn't doubt Makoto's words for a second. There was no reason for the kid to lie to him. After thinking it over, Madara decided to hold off on pressing for answers. He would wait until Makoto finished the chakra test before demanding an explanation. Senju Hashirama. Madara, what's going on? Were you actually tricked? Who did it? Tell me. Closing square bracket. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, Hashirama. I'm trying to think. Let's wait and see what Makoto has to say. Senju Tobarama. Is there some kind of conspiracy here? Or maybe, Madara, your resurrection was a setup from the start. What if whoever tricked you planned to use you for something else? Uchiha Izuna. Damn it. How dare someone deceive my brother? When I come back to life, I'll crush them with my Susanoo. Uchiha Madara. Enough already. I'm already pissed off. Just shut up for a bit. Makoto ignored their chatter. He had more important things to deal with. He couldn't just leave Sarutobi hanging. Turning his attention back to the chakra test, he was eager to get it over with quickly. He was planning to head to the training ground afterward to witness one of Konoha's most famous taijutsu techniques in action. The legendary 1,000 Years of Death. Sarutobi placed a chakra paper in front of Makoto. All he had to do was inject his chakra into the paper, and it would reveal his attributes. Makoto picked up the slip and channeled his chakra into it. What happened next left Sarutobi completely stunned. One part of the paper ignited into flames, another split in half, another wrinkled, another became damp, and the last part crumbled to dust. Sarutobi's eyes widened in shock. Sarutobi Hiruzen stared at Makoto in shock, his eyes widening in disbelief. You have an affinity for all 5 chakra natures," he exclaimed. "I never thought that at my age, I would find a disciple who matches me so perfectly." He took a moment to gather himself, clearly excited, before continuing. "As I mentioned earlier, I hold the title of the Professor. The reason for this is because I have mastered all 5 nature transformations. And now, it seems I can pass down everything I know to you." Makoto put on a slightly confused expression, pretending not to understand. "Teacher, is having an affinity for all 5 chakra attributes really that impressive?" Of course, he knew just how rare and incredible it was. While it was possible for anyone to master a nature transformation with enough talent and effort, there was a reason why so few shinobi ever mastered all 5. It was extremely difficult, to say the least. Seeing Makoto's confusion, Sarutobi patiently explained, "It's true that anyone can learn different chakra natures, even without an affinity. But the process is long and demanding, which is why most ninjas only specialize in 1 or 2 elements. But since you naturally have an affinity for all 5, you have a huge advantage. You'll be able to learn jutsu much faster than others. When you eventually master all 5 elements, your learning process will be even more efficient." He continued, "For example, Danzo, the elder you met earlier, is a master of wind style. My teacher, the second Hokage, was a master of water style. His water techniques were so refined that even his casual jutsu could rival forbidden techniques in power." Sarutobi paused for a moment before adding, "Of course, they could use other elemental jutsu as well, but their true expertise lay in the elements they specialized in." Sarutobi Hiruzen continued, "On the other hand, I've mastered all 5 nature transformations. The biggest advantage of this is that once you control multiple elements, you can combine them to create even more powerful jutsu. For example, merging fire style with wind style can greatly amplify a technique's power. I even have a technique called the 5-release great combo technique. By using the shadow clone jutsu, I can summon multiple clones, each using one of the 5 elements, fire, lightning, water, earth, and wind, at the same time, creating a massive, destructive explosion." Hearing this, Makoto nodded in understanding. "I see, sensei. So, are you going to teach me a new jutsu?" Sarutobi gestured for Makoto to follow as he walked toward the door. "You've already learned the shadow clone and Rasengan, but remember, ninja training always starts with the basics. Today, I'll teach you the fundamentals of chakra control, tree climbing and water walking. Let's head to the training ground." Makoto followed Sarutobi to a training area behind the Hokage's office. Uchiha Madara, tisk. After all that talk, I thought he was going to teach Makoto something powerful. And in the end, it's just tree climbing and water walking. Can't he tell Makoto is already past this level? Senju Hashirama. I guess his senses have dulled with age. Uchiha Izuna. Tree climbing and water walking. Ha, kids these days have it easy. Back in our time, sigh. Namikaze Minato. Isn't this just basic chakra control training? I already gave Makoto top-tier chakra control, so this should be a breeze for him. Makoto Ito. Indeed, it'll be a walk in the park. Uchiha Madara. Then why are you going along with it? Makoto Ito. Well, I'm his student now, so I should at least pretend to listen, right? Senju Tobarama. Bullshit, you just want to show off in front of that monkey. Unaware of the conversation happening in the chat, Sarutobi began explaining. Don't underestimate tree climbing and water walking. These exercises are designed to refine your chakra control. You need to concentrate chakra at the soles of your feet. Once you can climb to the top of this tree without issue, we'll move on to water walking. As Sarutobi demonstrated the technique, Makoto found it almost effortless, thanks to the exceptional chakra control gifted to him by Minato. With a simple focus of his chakra, he walked up the tree with ease, reaching the top in seconds. Sarutobi was stunned. His chakra control is incredible. Standing at the top of the tree, Makoto glanced down at Sarutobi and asked, Teacher, does this count as success? Sarutobi quickly regained his composure and smiled. Not bad, You managed to do it after watching just once. It seems your chakra control is excellent. But don't let this get to your head. When I was your age, I had no one to guide me, yet I still climbed trees with ease. Senju Tobarama. Bullshit. When I taught him to climb trees, it took him an entire day. No matter how much he tried, he just couldn't do it. In the end, Danzo had to stand below him, aiming a kunai at his ass to make him move. Uchiha Madara. Ha 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 ha. Tobarama, your student is as shameless as you. Hiruzen watched in disbelief as Makoto effortlessly completed both the tree climbing and water surface walking practices. He was completely stunned. What kind of genius is this? How does Makoto have such amazing chakra control? With control like this, he'll definitely have a huge advantage when he starts learning ninjutsu. It looks like I've really found a hidden gem, he thought excitedly. Even though he was shocked on the inside, he kept a calm expression. He bragged a little to Makoto, claiming that when he was young, he had also climbed trees and walked on water with ease, and then advised Makoto not to become arrogant or impatient and to always stay humble. But little did he know, all his boasts were being ruthlessly exposed by Tobarama in the chat. Now that you've learned these basics, I'll teach you a technique, Hiruzen said with a smile. This is called fire style, great fireball technique. He announced the name with pride, expecting Makoto to be impressed. But Makoto was completely unfazed. Sarutobi explained the great fireball technique, expecting Makoto to be impressed. However, in the chat, the reactions were far from what he had hoped for. Senju Tobarama. A great fireball technique. That's it, Uchiha Madara. I thought he was going to teach something powerful this time, but it's just the great fireball technique. Senju Hashirama. This is kind of disappointing. Namikaze Minato. Honestly, Lord Third is doing better than I did. I remember when I was Jiraiya's disciple, he used to sneak into the women's bathhouse every day and make me stand guard for him. If he got caught, he'd be the first to run, leaving me behind to take the beating. Senju Tobarama. Damn, Namikaze Minato. And that's not even the worst part. If I had actually seen anything, maybe the beating would have been worth it. But I didn't see a thing, and I still got punished. Ito Makoto. You should have just followed Jiraiya to peak. At least then, the beating would have been worth it. Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, are you saying you wanted to peek into the women's bathhouse? Namikaze Minato. No, I'm just saying it wasn't fair that I got beaten when I didn't even see anything. Meanwhile, back at the training group, Hiruzen continued explaining the great fireball technique and demonstrated it for Makoto. But Makoto was already losing interest. He had mastered this technique long ago. He casually formed a few hand seals and shouted, "Fire style, great fireball technique." A massive fireball burst forth, far exceeding Hiruzen's expectations. Makoto turned to his teacher with a smirk. "Sensei, do you think my fireball is big enough?" Hiruzen was stunned yet again. He had lost count of how many times Makoto had shocked him today. First, the boy had breezed through the tree climbing and water surface walking practices like they were nothing. Now, he had effortlessly performed the great fireball technique on his first try. This is nothing like when I trained Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Orochimaru, he thought, completely baffled. Noticing Hiruzen staring blankly at him, Makoto waved a hand in front of his face. Sensei, what's wrong with you? Ah, Hiruzen quickly snapped out of his daze. Regaining his composure, he gave Makoto a puzzled look. Makoto, did you already know the great fireball technique, or did you just learn it now? Makoto scratched his head awkwardly, then confidently lied through his teeth. Well, I just saw you doing this and that, followed the instructions, and, it was pretty simple, honestly. Hiruzen's face went blank with disbelief. You learned it just like that? Makoto simply nodded, looking as if it was the most natural thing in the world. After a brief moment of silence, Hiruzen sighed and decided to move forward. Well, since you've already learned the great fireball technique, I'll teach you another ninjutsu. This one is also a fire style technique. It's called Phoenix Sage Fire Technique. Hiruzen didn't know that Makoto had already mastered nearly every fire style technique from the Uchiha clan, thanks to Fugaku. And so, history repeated itself. Hiruzen carefully explained the Phoenix Sage Fire Technique, breaking down its details step by step. But before he could finish, Makoto casually formed a few hand seals and shouted, "Fire style, Phoenix Sage Fire Technique." A series of small fireballs shot out effortlessly, perfectly replicating the technique. Hiruzen stood there, watching in stunned silence. At this point, he was starting to question all his life choices. Hiruzen had been stunned so many times that he eventually gave up trying to understand how Makoto was learning everything so fast. He just couldn't wrap his head around what kind of monster he had taken in as a student. At first, he had thought Makoto was just a particularly talented civilian, someone who reminded him of Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Minato. That was the reason he decided to take him under his wing. But never in his wildest dreams did he expect this decision to lead him to train someone who might surpass all of his previous students. With a tired sigh, Hiruzen weakly waved his hand. That's enough for today. You've learned chakra control exercises and 2 fire-style techniques. Now, it's up to you to practice and master them through daily training. You can take the rest of the day to do whatever you want. Then, as if remembering something, he added, oh, right. Team 7, Kakashi's team, the one you saw yesterday, is training at Training Ground No. 3 today. They're doing a drill, and I've already given Kakashi a heads up about you. If you're interested, you can go check it out. He continued, as I told you before, being Hokage means I don't have much time to teach you. But as a ninja, you'll have to go on missions. For now, you'll need to team up with other teams. Before you start taking missions, it would be good to get familiar with Team 7. I'll keep teaching you as we go, but remember, don't let arrogance or impatience cloud your judgment. Learning takes time, and trying to rush it will only hold you back. And most importantly, never forget the will of fire. If you truly want to become a great ninja, it's something you must understand. Wherever the leaves fly, the fire will continue to burn. That fire will illuminate the village, and from it, new trees will grow. And with that, Hiruzen spent a full hour lecturing Makoto about the will of fire, making sure to drill the philosophy deep into his mind. Senju Tobarama, is he sick? He barely spent half an hour teaching, but then he talked about the will of fire for a whole hour. Is this training or brainwashing? Uchiha Madara, my head is pounding just listening to him. Does his mouth never get dry? Senju Hashirama, I have to admit, being able to talk non-stop like that is a skill in itself. Uchiha Izuna, at this rate, I'm seriously worried Makoto might end up brainwashed. Finally, after an entire hour, Hiruzen finished his lengthy speech and gave Makoto a warm smile. Makoto, do you remember what I just said? Makoto confidently replied, of course. Wherever the leaves are flying, the fire is uncontrollable. The fire will burn the whole village and all the trees. Hiruzen's lips twitched after hearing his words. He stared at Makoto in disbelief before raising his hand and knocking him lightly on the head. With that sleepy look of yours, I can tell you weren't paying attention. He let out a long sigh and shook his head helplessly. It looked like he still had a long way to go before he could set his student on the right path. Uchiha Izuna, ha 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 ha, I take back what I said earlier. Even if that monkey tries to brainwash Makoto, I'm pretty sure it won't work on him. Uchiha Madara, PFF'd, ha ha ha, since I joined the chat group, I've laughed more than I ever have in my entire life. The fire is going to set the whole village on fire and burn all the trees. Hilarious. Is this the legendary will of fire? Senju Hashirama. So the will of fire is just about burning wood now. Senju Tobarama. Shut up, brother. Please, stop using your remaining brain cells. With that, Hiruzen wrapped up his lesson for the day. The funny part was that Makoto had gained absolutely nothing from the session. If anything, he had just wasted time coming here. After all, he had already mastered everything Hiruzen had taught him. The two eventually parted ways, Hiruzen heading back to his office while Makoto wandered through the streets, looking for something to do. He knew Kakashi wouldn't show up on time, so there was no point in rushing to the training ground. Instead, he decided to relax and hang out with Naruto and the others. But before that, he decided to eat. And what better place to eat than Ichiraku ramen? Makoto had eaten there plenty of times before and had even taken the opportunity to carefully observe Otsutsuki Uncle Ichiraku. Honestly, with how mysterious the guy was, Makoto sometimes wondered if he might secretly be an Otsutsuki. But no matter how much he observed, Ichiraku always squinted his eyes so much that they couldn't be seen. It was impossible to tell anything from his expression. Hey, uncle, one bowl of ramen, Makoto called out with a grin. Ichiraku turned to him with an exasperated smile. Makoto, how many times do I have to tell you? I'm not your uncle. Why do you keep calling me that? I swear, You never used to call me that before. Makoto waved his hand dismissively and said, Uncle, don't stress over the little things. I want the super deluxe ramen. Oh, and pack a few extra portions too. Ichiraku gave him a puzzled look. Can you really eat that much? Makoto shook his head. Of course not. How could I finish it all by myself? I'm bringing it for 2 idiots. The 2 idiots he was talking about were obviously Sasuke and Naruto. Kakashi had tricked them, making them skip breakfast, and they had spent the whole morning starving. By now, they were probably beyond hungry. Makoto didn't realize it, but he had also unknowingly developed the Sakura filter. Makoto never had the habit of saying thanks before eating. As soon as the food was in front of him, he dug in without hesitation. Uncle, your cooking just keeps getting better. Ichiraku sighed. Makoto, how many times do I have to tell you? Stop calling me uncle. By the way, I heard Lord Third has taken you in as his student. Makoto nodded as he swallowed a mouthful of noodles. That's right, I just got back from training at the Hokage's office. Ichiraku's smile widened. In that case, let me treat you today to celebrate. You don't have to pay. The moment Makoto heard that, he didn't hesitate. Thanks, uncle. Damn it, I'm not your uncle. But Makoto had already grabbed the packed ramen and was heading out the door. Ichiraku watched him go, shaking his head with a small smile. This little brat. As he turned back to his work, his daughter, who had been watching, spoke up. Dad, why does he keep calling you uncle? Ichiraku let out a helpless sigh. How should I know? Anyway, keep an eye on the shop. I need to deliver an order. Now, Makoto was on his way to the training ground, carrying the packed ramen. He glanced at his screen and saw a new message from Madara. Uchiha Madara. Hey, kid, can you explain what you meant earlier when you said I was deceived? Makoto grinned after seeing the message as he had only explained half of the situation before. Ito Makoto. It means exactly what it sounds like. Don't you understand simple words? You got tricked. Uchiha Madara. Fine, then tell me, who deceived me? And why? Ito Makoto. As you can see, I'm too busy to answer all your questions right now. Uchiha Madara. You brat. Just then, a notification popped up. Group moderator Senju Hashirama has gifted the group leader Makoto Ito a master-level sage arts technique. Senju Hashirama. Makoto, can you explain now? Uchiha Izuna. Why is Hashirama more anxious than my brother, who's the actual victim here? Senju Tobarama. Wouldn't you be anxious if your man got deceived? Uchiha Izuna. Izuna was about to laugh at Tobarama's message until he noticed his own nickname. Tobarama's little wife. Fuck. Ito Makoto. Lord First, thanks for the super chat. Everyone, make sure to thank him. Senju Hashirama. What does he mean by that? Senju Tobarama. Who knows? He always says things we don't understand. Without wasting another second, Makoto received the master-level sage arts. The moment he accepted the gift, he felt an immediate shift in his body. His chakra surged, his senses sharpened, and even his physique seemed to grow slightly stronger. But the most crucial change was that Makoto had finally reached cage-level strength. The proof came when the chains binding his revive button shattered into pieces. Before this, even though he got many good things from the group members, he was still a little behind from truly reaching cage level. At best, he could momentarily surpass that level in short bursts. But now, with the master-level sage arts in his arsenal, he had officially stepped into the ranks of true cage-level power. Ito Makoto. Ahem, it's a long story to explain, so I'll just take my time and tell you all about it. Several decades ago, during the Warring States period, 2 great ninjas emerged. Their names were Hashirama and Madara. As children, they formed a deep friendship, so deep that they even considered each other soulmates. However, their families did not approve of their relationship. Uchiha Madara, what nonsense are you spouting? Senju Hashirama. Wait, I want to hear more. Uchiha Izuna. Makoto, where exactly are you going with this? Senju Tobarama. I have a bad feeling about this. Uchiha Madara. And brat, what do you mean by, the family doesn't approve of our relationship? And why are you even talking about us? I already know all of that. Just tell me how I got deceived. Senju Hashirama. No, let him continue. Uchiha Izuna. Hashirama, why are you more invested in this than my brother? Senju Tobarama. He's always been like this. Just ignore him, Makoto. I know you're in a hurry, but don't rush me. Let me build up the suspense. Now, where was I? Oh, right, later, Hashirama and Madara became famous throughout the world. One was called the god of Shinobi, and the other was known as the ghost of the Uchiha. These two lived through the turbulent Warring States period, both committed to bringing peace. Eventually, when they grew tired of the endless wars, they joined forces and created the Hidden Leaf Village. The goal of these two was to establish peace and prevent children from being forced onto the battlefield. Hashirama became the first Hokage, and for a time, the two of them lived in relative peace. But that peace did not last, as their differing philosophies soon clashed. Though they were once close friends, their perspectives on how to achieve peace became irreconcilable. Hashirama believed that love and understanding could bring harmony to the world, whereas Madara believed that only overwhelming strength could ensure true peace. That only by forcing submission through power could lasting stability be achieved. Additionally, Madara's brother-in-law, Tobirama, constantly opposed him and worked to suppress his clan. Senju Tobirama. Wait a damn minute, when did I become Madara's brother-in-law? Uchiha Madara. Kid, I asked you one thing, but why are you telling my whole life story? And just how the hell do you know all this? Senju Hashirama. It's quite refreshing to listen, Madara. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, you idiot. Senju Tobirama. Shut up, brother. Makoto. Can you all stop interrupting me? Uchiha Madara. Fine, keep talking. Makoto. Now, in addition to suppressing the Uchiha clan, Tobirama also played a big role in Madara's hatred. After all, Tobirama was responsible for the death of Madara's younger brother, Izuna, which created an irreparable rift between them. Uchiha Izuna. Do we really have to bring that up? Senju Tobirama. It was a battle. Don't make me the villain here. Makoto. With his ideology clashing with Hashirama's, the growing pressure from Tobirama, and the Uchiha clan refusing to support his stance, Madara reached his breaking point. Eventually, he stumbled upon the stone tablet hidden deep within the underground bunker of the Naka Shrine. Only those who awakened the Sharingan could partially read the inscription. But Madara, having awakened the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, believed he understood the full message. However, what he didn't know was that the tablet had been tampered with, by Black Zetsu. Uchiha Madara. What, Makoto? That's right. The inscription was altered to manipulate you into thinking that only you could change the world. You unknowingly became a pawn in someone else's plan. Uchiha Izuna. So, my brother was tricked into thinking he was the savior of the world. Senju Hashirama. That Black Zetsu, damn bastard. How dare he deceive Madara? I will never forgive him. Uchiha Madara. Black Zetsu. Makoto. After reading the inscription, Madara believed that leaving the village was the only way to achieve his vision. But when he tried to take the Uchiha clan with him, they refused. They had grown too comfortable with the stability and peace of the village. Left with no other choice, Madara left alone. The rest, as you all know, led to the final battle between Madara and Hashirama. Though Madara was declared dead, he had actually faked his death, later awakening the Rinnegan after fusing Hashirama's cells with his own. He then spent years preparing for the Project Tsukuyomi, believing it was his own idea. But in reality, he had been dancing in the palm of Black Zetsu's hand all along. Uchiha Madara. No way. This can't be real. Senju Tobirama. So the great Madara was nothing more than a puppet. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, Tobirama. Uchiha Izuna. This is really depressing. Senju Hashirama. Madara, it's okay. Everyone make mistakes at least once in their life. Uchiha Madara. But I still don't understand. Why? What was the purpose of deceiving me? What good did my resurrection do for Black Zetsu? Makoto. Ah, that takes us even further back. Sigh. Storytelling is tiring. If you really want to hear it, I need some motivation. Uchiha Madara. Damn brat. Senju Tobirama. Ha 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 ha. I expect no less from you, kid. Uchiha Izuna. Makoto, I have nothing left to give you. You already awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan and know all the fire-style techniques of our clan. Makoto. Look, it's simple. You guys are curious and want answers, and I provide them. In return, I get rewarded. Everybody wins. Isn't that fair? Group moderator Senju Hashirama has shared Grandmaster level Sage Arts with group leader Makoto Ito. Makoto. Now that's the way to go. Grandpa first, You are the best. What's going on with Hashirama? He just gave me master level sage arts not long ago. Is it because of Madara? But why does he seem more anxious than Madara? Makoto wondered, feeling amused as he glanced at the messages popping up. Namikaze Minato. As expected of the Lord First. You're really generous. Hyuga Hazashi. Sigh, we mere nobodies can't compare to him. Group member Uchiha Madara presents 10 times Chakra to group leader Makoto Ito. Group member Senju Tobarama presents his mastery of impure world reincarnation to group leader Makoto Ito. Group member Uchiha Izuna presents Mangekyo Sharingan to group leader Makoto Ito. Uchiha Izuna. Makoto, even though you already have the Mangekyo Sharingan, it hasn't reached the eternal stage yet. Since your Sharingan originally came from my brother, that means your eyes share the same source as his. With my Mangekyo Sharingan, you should be able to awaken the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Makoto Ito. Thank you all for the rewards. My motivation is off the charts. You were all curious, right? I'll make sure to satisfy your curiosity. But first, let me claim these rewards. Without wasting a second, Makoto clicked to claim all the rewards. Uchiha Madara. Brat, can you get on with it now? The rewards aren't going anywhere. Senju Hashirama. Yeah, stop teasing us and continue the story. Senju Tobarama. Judging from everything we've heard so far, there's definitely something lurking in the shadows. Black Zetsu seems to be the one pulling the strings. Senju Hashirama. Damn that bastard. When I get resurrected, I'm going to hunt him even if he ran to the ends of the world. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama, stay out of it. I'll take care of that scheming rat myself. Senju Hashirama. No way, Madara. What if he tricks you again? I can't let you face him alone. Uchiha Madara. Do you think I'm dumb enough to fall for his tricks twice? Senju Hashirama. Is that even a question? Of course, you are. You're just as much a fool for peace as I am. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama. Senju Hashirama. Madara. Senju Tobarama. Seriously, can we focus? This isn't the time for another one of your fights. After claiming all the rewards, Makoto felt a surge of power coursing through his body. More importantly, just like Izuna had said, he had finally awakened the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Makoto Ito. Alright, everyone, listen up. A long time ago, people lived peacefully on this planet until one day, an unknown alien race arrived, the Otsutsuki clan. The Otsutsuki travel from world to world, planting divine trees to grow chakra fruits that give them immense power and longevity. These trees are created by fusing with a 10 tails, a monstrous creature that acts as both a guardian and a power source for the tree. Otsutsuki Kagaya and Otsutsuki Ashiki were sent to this planet to plant a divine tree and harvest its chakra fruit. But Kagaya betrayed Ashiki, launching a surprise attack that left him mortally wounded. She then consumed the chakra fruit herself, gaining godlike power. Later, she gave birth to 2 sons. The eldest, Otsutsuki Hagoromo, became known as the Sage of 6 Paths, the first person to spread chakra to humanity. Her younger son, Otsutsuki Hamura, became the ancestor of the Hyuga clan and eventually led his people to the moon. However, Kagaya feared that other Otsutsuki would come looking for the stolen chakra fruit. To prepare for their arrival, she decided to cast the infinite Tsukuyomi on the world, turning its people into white Zetsu soldiers to fight for her. When her sons learned of her plan, they stood against her. After an intense battle, Hagoromo and Hamura managed to seal Kagaya away and split the 10 tails into 9 separate tailed beasts. Hamura then led his people to the moon to guard her prison. But before she was sealed, Kagaya created Black Zetsu, a sentient being tasked with ensuring her eventual return. For centuries, Black Zetsu manipulated history from the shadows, shaping events to resurrect Kagaya. Everything that happened, including Madara's actions, was orchestrated by Black Zetsu. He tricked Madara into believing that the infinite Tsukuyomi was his own plan when, in reality, Madara was just another pawn in Black Zetsu's long game to bring Kagaya back. Senju Hashirama. This is insane. Why are aliens involved? Uchiha Madara. So Black Zetsu isn't my will incarnate, he's Kagaya's creation. Senju Tobarama. Which means Black Zetsu has been in our world for thousands of years, manipulating everything behind the scenes. Namikaze Minato. Then, the Sage of 6 Paths was real all along. Hyuga Hazashi. The Hyuga clan has ancient records mentioning a rabbit goddess. I always thought it was just a myth. Yuhi Shinku. This is completely insane. The entire group fell silent, struggling to wrap their heads around what they had just learned. To them, these were just ancient legends. But now, those myths were turning out to be the truth. For more thrilling fanfiction stories like this, check out my channel Fanfic audiobook. Dive into epic adventures, mysterious realms, and legendary journeys brought to life through immersive storytelling. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing audiobooks.